Welcome to Classifying Erratas. Today we're going to be talking about the different errors that are found on the Weiss Schwarz card. This topic is actually near and dear to me just because this is one of my responsibilities that I have at work. We normally have what we call production issues where something doesn't go out correctly, whether it's wording, rates, something goes down and we need to fix it. In order to figure out the order in what we fix first, we have to actually give it a priority. We have to classify these things. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing here today. On my next video, I'm going to give a method on how to reduce the amount of errors going forward. Maybe they use it, maybe they don't, maybe they use a version of it. But in any case, I want to help them out so that we don't have problems in the future. So every now and then, we're getting a message like this. Dear Weiss Schwarz Meisters, the errata page has been updated. We would like to apologize for the lapse in our quality checks. We will strive to ensure these issues will be minimized for future releases. For more information, look at this webpage. So moving on, what we're going to take a look at then is our first category. That category is typos, misspellings, subtle name lettering issues. And this will be our low priority issues. What I want to show you next is a clip from Seinfeld, if you haven't seen it. Great comedy show. I got the complete series here. And we're going to be taking a look at the character named George and how he handles typos.
Who invaded Spain in the 8th century?
That's a joke. The Moors.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry, it's the Moops. The correct answer is the Moops.
Moops. Let me see that. That's not Moops, you jerk. It's Moors. It's a misprint.
I'm sorry, the card says Moops.
I love that clip. What you didn't see after was George and the Bubble Boy going back and forth saying moops moors. I feel like there are people in life that I know that play games that way. And I will say, don't be a Costanza, because more than likely, if you actually do that, if you actually make a big deal out of it during actual gameplay, that more than likely I'm not going to play a game with you ever again. It's not what I want to see. So with that said, I'm going to show a few examples here. We have Gother up first from the 7 Deadly Sins. As you can see here, the error is if you do choose one Britannia character in your waiting ROM. So hopefully, again, there's not a stickler or some kind of jerk or anybody out there that actually does this who will actually say, too bad there's no such thing as a waiting ROM, so you can't actually pull that character, right? And that's the point I'm making here. These things, though glaringly not good, is at the same time shouldn't affect your play. And I know people like making fun of it, but it happens, right? I could say that about newspapers and online articles. Their main goal is to investigate and report. And to do that, they're typing up articles. And every day, I am not kidding, if you read enough articles out there, you will find grammatical errors and all of these things. And you do pay for it. So when you think about a newspaper, you are buying the newspaper. If you're reading an online article, even though you're not physically handing over $1, you are seeing ads that they are making money off of. So I don't know if people just stop going to those news sites just because they see one grammatical error, or even just straight up complain about it. But at the same time, this right here, you still get the same kind of information, just not all that great. It's not perfect. Same thing here with beautiful Princess Nave. As you can see here, we have at the beginning of your opponent's draw phrase should be phase. Next thing we have is Pure Princess Toka. And this is part of the whole Fujimi Fantasia Bunko series. And this errata came about just because Data Live came out and the spelling of Toka was this version right here, Tohka. That was on the Data Live cards whereas the Fujimi cards had Toka with a U. Again, this Fujimi came out a year before, and that was the naming convention used. Data Live came out, and they didn't use a consistent naming convention. This is a fun category. This is the misnamed category, and I gave it a medium priority. One of the things that I factor in when I have to prioritize production issues is how much it annoys people, how much it prevents people from doing something. That's what I look at, right? You're a customer. Does it make you angry? And what kind of impact does that have on something you're trying to do or your life? So, in this category, I gave it medium because it really ticked me off. And I'm the customer. So, where I was just okay with the typos and all that, right? It doesn't bother me. It's not going to affect me from playing. This category just really made me angry. And I'm going to show you why. So, Mysterious Demon Cromwell, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. This was Mysterious Demon Cromwell, became Mysterious Demon Kuro. Okay, fine. Easy enough. I could figure it out. Then, for the most part, the name here is the same, just minus the end. And this happened on August 7th, 2020. Then on July 16th, 2021, Kuro went to black. He went black. So as you can see here, the progression. In 2020, he was Cromwell, and then he became Kuro. And in 2021, he decided to change his name from Kuro to black. Which, again, is okay. Kind of annoying. I can live with it. But then I saw this next one, and this is the part where it really made me angry. So, I have Excalibur Morgan from Fate Stay Night. That came out, the errata came out on March 17, 2021. So again, the name of this card is Excalibur Morgan. This errata gave it an additional name, which is Excalibur. So Excalibur Morgan and Excalibur are the correct names for this card. Fine. Okay. Next one we have, on the same day, Excalibur from the Fate Zero set. So different set, March 17th, 2021. This card's name will also be regarded as Excalibur Morgan. So I was like, okay, all right. So this card as well is going to be Excalibur Morgan. It's going to be Excalibur, same as this. So both of these are Excalibur Morgans and Excaliburs. They are not the same card. They're from different sets, and they have different trigger icons. Okay. So I'm good with that. Even though I'm not good with that, kind of annoying and slightly confusing, I was okay with that. And then, on July 16th, 2021, Excalibur got that errata removed. So, now we have Excalibur Morgan just becoming Excalibur again. That's confusing. It's tiring. I mean, it's not that bad, I guess, because now you just look at this card and you're like, okay, it's Excalibur, fine. And we got one left here. So the card that started it all is the Stellar Offense and Defense Saber Altar. And this is the Fate Stay Night Heaven's Field, July 16, 2021. The error is if Excalibur Morgan is in your climax area. So going back here, let's take a look. Excalibur Morgan, which now is called Excalibur Morgan and Excalibur. The correct version of this is if Excalibur is in your climax area. So again, this probably should have been updated way back in March 17, 2021, completely forgotten. So that's the issue with this. It's annoying, it's forgotten, not so great. It's time for our last category, and that is our functionality category. This is the you better fix this kind of quick or let people know that it's a problem. And this is our high priority. Examples of this would be missing words, timing of play, wrong type of cards, wrong actions. So as I said before, the other categories, they're not going to affect your play all that much. You can figure it out. But when you get to this category, having a missing word, not knowing when to play this thing at the right time. You put the wrong type of cards on there. You do the wrong actions. It's not so good. Not pretty at all. It's one of those ones where this should never happen. Huge issue. Okay, so let's take a look. First off, we got one of the easier ones, I guess, to avoid happening is we got Nazarick. And as you can see here, I had to pull up the JKTCG version. Thank you again. Because on here is the correct version. So card text is covered by auto icon. Card text should not be covered by an auto icon. Great. And if you take a look here, it says auto, and it's right beside the P. So when you take a look at the corrected version, auto, 1 cost, and then the put there. So not so good. You shouldn't be covering over words. And how this happens, I don't know. That's amazingly bad, I would say. Next one we got is Enthusiastic Huddle Kasumi. And what does she do? You may put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. So that's not very good. But when you look at the correct ability here, you may put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. So a heal. You went from whatever this is to a heal, which is pretty not so good because again, you're looking to heal when you're at level 3. Just making sure she's not an early play. I didn't read that card. So yeah, you want to heal. You don't want to have yourself just putting your top card into your waiting room. Not so good. Next thing we have here is trying on Karumi from Data Live. This is our PR card. I remember that PR card being super, super expensive just because this card was completely broken. So we have return 2 cards from your waiting room to your deck. When the reality of it is return 2 characters from your waiting room to your deck. So totally different. If you could just pick 2 cards, that's amazing. If you could just pick 2 characters, okay, it isn't the greatest, but at the same time, it's still okay. But this version of the card was completely crazy. And again, see, so that's why this is a high priority. If it affects actual gameplay, then we have a problem, and it needs to be errata pretty quickly. And it was. If you take a look here, March 31st, so people figured that out pretty quickly. Next thing we got here is Kanan. This thing was a huge issue just because if you take a look here, it says this card was a level 0 when in reality it should have been a level 1. A 4500 climax combo card at level 0 is pretty crazy. It's huge, oversized for sure. Finally, we're getting to the part of repeating issues. I'm going to bring back the Weiss Schwarz message right here. And the reason I am doing this is a complaint from people that is 100% completely valid is this statement that says, we will strive to ensure that these issues will be minimized for future releases. And as I took a look at the erratas, I don't know if I can actually say that that's true, just because we have repeating issues. And what that actually means is this. So for Victory, Rin, and Archer, when I took a look at that errata list, the worst part about it was the fact that you kept seeing over and over the same issues. And I'm like, how is this even possible? So on November 11th, 2015, you could see here error at the beginning of your encore step if you, when the actual error is at the beginning of the encore step. That's different, right? And it's livable. Again, 2015. You get to the next one, and this was 2018 at the beginning of your encore step, at the beginning of the encore step. Exact same issue. So 2015, 2018. And it wouldn't have been so bad, but then again in 2020, we literally have the same error at the beginning of your encore step when it should have been at the beginning of the encore step. So then we have it again. Same set, so technically it should have happened, I guess, in the same set because it was the same wording. But again, you see here at the beginning of the encore step, at the beginning, you're the. So we have 4 cards here that had literally the same issue over different time periods: 2015, 2018, 2020. I did not look up when these sets came out, so I just didn't do that. But at the same time, there was enough time gap there, right? 2015, 2018, 2020. Especially since this is definitely more recent, and obviously 2015. That's many, many years in between. Okay, another example here. We got Fujimi. So if you have 2 or more characters, and this one is if you have 2 or more other, that makes a huge difference. And we got that again in Heaven's Feel. So in Heaven's Feel had the same issue if you have 2 or more other. Just to recap here. So we classify these things low, medium, high. And we also have the statement that said they'll reduce it in the future. What I'm going to do in the next video is just basically show what I would do in their place based off some of the techniques that we have at work. Whether Weiss already uses this technique or not, I don't know. But at the same time, we've proven for a fact that these issues are occurring and they do repeat. They do have a likelihood of happening again. Even though they're trying to reduce it, it may not be there. That might just be some marketing words, because marketing has to say something. When they put that Facebook statement out there, it's not like they can go, sorry, dear Weiss Schwarz Meisters, the errata page has been updated, and then put the website. Like, most marketing people would not leave out this third line here, right? It's going to be there. They're going to say what they have to, and they pray that the people working on this stuff are going to take care of it in the future. No one wants to put out bad product, so they're hoping by saying this that you all remain a little bit calmer, and in the future it actually does get minimized. No one feels good about putting out issues, no matter what company it is. My company, card company, whatever other company. I'm trying to think of companies. But literally every company in the world, for the most part, do not like putting out problem product, because then they get people complaining and some people may demand refunds and all that. So that's what we're going to do next video. But if you have any other type of solutions, feel free to let me know. Have a good one.